This is James with WSTrades.com. I want to provide an update here on ticker TTOO or T2 BioSystems. So big move lower on Friday here. They moved down over 12% on the day. On the daily time frame here, you can see a gap down and a pretty good sell-off. So a pretty good move down. And I've been making several videos about this stock lately. I've been covering it. I've been talking about different things with this stock, and there's several things that happened that could drive the price lower, but of course everybody was waiting for the FDA approval for the T2 biothreat panel to drive the price higher. So we definitely got that pump. Of course, here you see this massive gap up and this massive rip here the day that the FDA approval for that T2 biothreat was released, and we had this massive pump here and we had this massive volume come into the stock. So there were a few things, though, that happened before that FDA approval, which I was talking about, that could drive the price lower. So some people might be wondering, why in the world did it have this massive pump up here and then this huge dump back down to 25 cents? And some people have been commenting on the channel saying, oh, it's illegal naked short selling. There's other things going on that explain this drop in price. And, I covered them. I made videos about them. One of them, there was a proposal to convert some debt into common stock. So that's definitely not good. That's dilution, and that got approved at the shareholder meeting. So that shareholder meeting came a couple days before the FDA approval came through. Or one day, I guess, right? Because the shareholder meeting happened on the 15th, which was a Friday. And then the 18th was when the FDA approval came through. So it was like bang, bang. Some negative stuff happened, or some stuff that could drive the stock price lower happened on the 15th. And then the FDA approval came the next trading day or the next business day. So it kind of got, a lot of that negative stuff kind of got overshadowed by the FDA approval. And then I think reality kind of set in here after that gap up and that huge pump on FDA approval day. So, one of them was the debt conversion, which causes dilution. But then I had made another video previously talking about there was some dilution that was contingent upon the vote on the reverse stock split. And I actually read out the SEC filing there, and I said, hey, if this reverse stock split gets approved by the shareholders, this is going to cause dilution. And, this is going to allow convertible stock to be converted, and then, that common stock would be able to be sold. So I made videos on that. I put this stuff out there, but I think people were just thinking that the FDA approval was going to shoot this thing, to the moon, like over $1, and all TTOO's problems were going to be solved. But I was just looking yesterday through a news story here that dilution and that dumping of massive amounts of shares occurred. So according to a Form 4 filed with the SEC, a 10% owner of T2 BioSystems, this is CRG, this is CR Group, they sold more than 10 million shares of TTOO on September 19th at an average price of 36 cents a share. So, I was kind of talking about this. We had a lot of stuff here that could definitely drive the stock price lower, but it happened right before, the FDA approval came through. So I think a lot of people were just expecting the FDA approval to kind of fix everything. This thing was going to shoot up above $1. They weren't going to need to do the reverse split anymore. But with all that dilution and CRG Group being able to convert into common stock and dump tens of millions of shares of stock, this is what we see right here on the 19th. So we had this big gap up here, this big pump up to 46 cents, 47 cents. And then the next day, they dumped 10 million shares of stock. And if you come down here and look at it, the trading volume was pretty high that day, but still 10 million is a pretty good percentage of the volume that we saw that day. And then this thing just continued to move lower here. So again, there was a lot of dilution stuff that was lined up. There was a lot of stuff set up right before this FDA approval came through that explains why this thing had this big dump here. So again, I'm skeptical with all the dilution and, all this convertible stock and all this stuff going on that they're going to magically get to $1 by November 20th for 10 trading days. They're down at 25 cents. So we're going to need like a 300% rip here, or more than a 300% rip, to get this thing to $1. And, it's got to stay there for 10 business days, and they've only got a couple months left to do it to avoid the reverse split. Unless they want to take this thing to the OTC, which I don't think they want to do, because they put a proposal in there to approve this reverse stock split, which the only reason they're going to do that is so they can stay on NASDAQ. They can do that reverse stock split, get to $1 minimum bid price requirement, and not have to go OTC. So I'll continue to keep you updated here on ticker TTOO or T2 BioSystems. Please like this video. Please also subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. Hit that notification bell. Appreciate you for taking the time to watch this. Talk to you soon.